As a white girl who has dated black guys since the age of 15, I feel like you guys need my perspective on this Shannon Sharpe shit, because everything I'm seeing is like white women are fetishizing black men. Like the Shannon Sharpe sitch, like the girl said something about, I want your black baby, right? I have had black men come to me and say, I want you to have my black baby. Not, I want you to have my baby. That's the acceptable response. No, I want you to have my black baby. And I have had black men ask me to say very derogatory things in bed. Yeah. So part of it is not that white women are fetishizing black men. It's like the opposite. And I feel like this isn't being talked about, and I don't want to get any hate for this, guys, because this is my personal experience, but I've had more black men than not mention race in our relationship as like a king. I don't know. I don't even know if that's like the right way to describe it. But there are some black men in this world that I think like I don't know if they want to reenact. I don't know if it's like a power trip of like, I don't know, but I just feel like that piece is important to this puzzle.
So, of course, she is going off of the Shannon Sharpe situation right now. Just catch y'all up if y'all been living up under a rock. Now, I haven't really talked about it because I truly don't care about it. The reason I don't really care about the Shannon Sharpe situation is because this is a grown man dealing with a grown woman, right? She's acting like a child. This is what our women are today. But you got a grown man dealing with some chick, right? Who he's just trying to knock some boots, right? He just want to have himself an experience. And of course, a lot of people are trying to turn that and say, well, you know, Shannon Sharpe is bad. Shannon Sharpe shouldn't even be in that situation, which once again, I mean, they're both consenting adults. How can they not be in that situation if they're both consenting adults? That's my thing. This is how backwards our society is, because y'all will literally demonize a man who just wants to go out here and go knock some boots. Where I say he messed up is where the chick kept texting him and saying, yo, you need to start sending me some money. Yo, you need it. When it went from having intercourse to now this is all business, yeah, you should have cut that off right then and there, right? You should have cut that off right then and there. And if y'all saw the text messages, it's like, okay, this is where we gotta be like, dang, Shannon Sharpe, you gotta be smarter than that. You gotta be smarter than that. However, we have this chick who is jumping on here saying, hey, well, you know, out of my experience dealing with a bunch of black men, they fantasize having a big black baby. They always talk about having a big black baby, right? They're pretty much trying to say that a lot of black men's intentions of dating white women are wrong. And you hear that from a lot of your sisters. When really the case is a lot of your brothers deal with women outside of the race, because it ain't just white women. You got brothers who go outside of the race called the passport bros. They go outside of the country to go look for some loving. But you got guys who date outside of the race and tend to date white women because they are easier to deal with, right? They tend to add more value to your life. And I'm not saying that sisters don't, right? But when you're talking about dealing with a sister in today's age, a lot of your sisters rather leech off of you. They don't know how to reciprocate value. I've dealt with this for the longest with a lot of your sisters. A lot of sisters that I dated, they do not know how to reciprocate value.
And y'all know we all single till marriage, right? When we file our taxes, it don't say nothing about no boyfriend. That shit say single, married, widowed, divorced. It don't say nothing about no boyfriend. My boyfriend said, I don't want to hear none of that. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's your boyfriend. A boy that's a friend. A boy that's a friend. In the eyes of the law, you're single. Respect to the law and stop doing wifey shit for that. That's your boyfriend.
You are single until you are married, baby girl. Do not let these men hold up your life. Do not let these men waste your time, because they will. And the reason why I tell women you are single until you're married is because if he hasn't married you and officially made you his, then he just don't love you like he say he does. He just wants to keep some type of access to you. He just doesn't want anyone else to have you. There's a whole bunch of reasons on why he's not marrying you.
Brothers go deal with a white woman because they feel like, hey, man, listen, this chick understands me a little bit better. And what I mean by that is they're not stubborn. They're not hard to deal with.
And white women, what's that about? People in sports and white women.
I think a majority of what we see is men choosing women who are willing to do for them what needs to be done or what they need to feel within a relationship. She probably waits on him hand and foot, gives him sound advice, talks to him respectfully, and the list goes on and on and on. What we don't talk about in our community is the war between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we here.
Yeah.
People that look like me and you who don't treat each other or show up for each other the way that we need to. And women all day long. I have clips in my phone, even from other podcasts and other things that go viral. You literally have women that look like you, Queen, that are saying, we don't need men. We don't need it.
Isn't that crazy?
But then the same women that say, well, we don't need y'all, you get mad when they go elsewhere.
That.
People going crazy when Serena marries her husband or Eve marries her husband because it's a double standard.
Yeah.
Right? They'll say, I'll take that billionaire too.
Mm-hmm.
But again, are we focused on the love aspect or are we focused on what you think or how that looks?
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on, Black love, but I'm also big on love.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with control, right? A lot of women like to say, oh, well, you want to deal with them women because they don't have a backbone. You just want a yes man. That's not the case. We don't want somebody who is argumentative. Now, it's not to sit here and say that, your women and other races aren't argumentative, but overall, there's a reason why your brothers are dating outside of the race. There's a reason why your brothers are dealing with your white women. Now, you can sit here and say that, hey, well, the reason that they're dating us is because, they fantasize, having a big black baby. That's not the case, right? That's not the case. You even have athletes, you even have other guys telling you why they date outside of the race. Now, once again, it might be a kink for them to be called the N-word by their white girlfriend. It might be a kink that, hey, well, she, I want to be able to have a big black baby with this girl, right? But these can't be the same women who sit here and read books, right, of women getting raped, and then somehow, some way, she falling in love with the rapist. I've seen plenty of books. Like my girlfriend read plenty of those books, right? You got a book called Does It Hurt, right? This book is by H.D. Carlton, right? It is a dark romance novel. People, dark romance novel. Now, mind you, your black man ain't reading these type of books. It's only women that are reading these type of books. And these are the same women who do not like rape. These are the same women who will pull a Me Too movement on you in a heartbeat. These are the same women who will falsely accuse you of rape in a heartbeat. But yet they sit here and read dark romantic books. Yet they sit over here and read books, man, that is about raping. And then somehow, some way, these women fall in love with the rapists. Like, let's go ahead and just read the title. Does It Hurt by J.D. Carlton is a dark romance novel about Enzo Vitale, an Italian man with a chip on his shoulder, and Sawyer Bennett, who is on the run and seeks refuge with him after a shipwreck. The story explores their complicated relationship marked by danger, violence, and a twisted kind of romance. A twisted kind of romance, people. Okay. It also delves into themes of trauma, survival, and the blurred lines between attraction and animosity. And for the book, Does It Hurt? Once again, the name in of itself is wild, but from my understanding, from what I heard my girlfriend read the last time, the dude was sitting over here hurting her, busting her lip, all of this extra stuff, doing some other things, right? Doing some other things to her by keeping her head up under the water. But at the end of the book, somehow, some way, they love each other, right? And these are the type of books women love. These are the type of books women eat up. But yet they're so quick to sit here and say, oh, well, a man sitting over here telling a white girl he wants a big black baby. That's crossing the line. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Here's one of the descriptions for the book. He lured me onto his boat like a fish in the ocean, seeking vengeance for my crime. Had I realized his intentions and that a massive storm would leave us shipwrecked, I would have ran. What was his intentions, bro? What was his intentions? So then they go on to say, now I'm a girl who is seeking refuge in a decrepit lighthouse with a man who loathes me almost as much as he craves me. He wants to hurt me, but the old caretaker of the abandoned island may have intentions far more sinister. Like I said, if I'm not mistaken, she gets punched in the lip or whatever. She gets her head pushed up under the water and he goes to town. And then somehow, some way, they end up falling in love with each other at the end of the book. I could be slightly off, but I'm pretty sure that's the gist of the book. That's the gist of the book. And she has a bunch of other books that are just like that. But yet, once again, you have these same women who are then upset and will shame you for that. These are the same women who, once again, will say it's okay to be sexually liberated at the age of 17, people. at the age of 17. If you're going to be sexually liberated at the age of 17, once again, and women can say that ain't true, but there's a reason why a lot of your girls are, as soon as they get out of high school or as soon as they turn 18, they're jumping on OnlyFans. That's being sexually liberated. But then they get upset because who are the ones that's paying for this woman to be over here on the internet? These men are the ones that's paying them. They are pretty much putting themselves online for other men. And of course, older men are going to be the ones that want to jump in on that. But you're going to go ahead and hold those men accountable, but you're not going to hold this chick accountable. So as far as men want to deal with women outside of the race, especially within the white community, it has nothing to do with, they just, that's a kink or they fetishize that. They don't. Right, we as men do not. We might joke about it, right? Shannon Sharpe is joking about it, but to sit here and think that it's a fetish, that's crazy, right? Especially, man, when women are sitting up here listening and reading these books that are just wild. But once again, it will always be an issue. They will always try to find something to nitpick about it. Even a white girl, they're gonna find something to nitpick about it because once again, what's the issue with a black man saying, "Hey, well, yeah, I want you to have my black." Well, I guess I can see the issue with that, but I mean, once again, like I said, is it weird? Yes, most definitely is it weird on Shannon Sharpe's part, most definitely. But at the same time, man, everybody say crazy shit to their woman every single time. So I'm not, like I said, I think right now they're just trying to highlight this as if this is something bad, when once again, it's two consensual adults. I dealt with a lot of white women myself, and once again, man, like I said, I've done some crazy things, but to sit here and say that, oh, this is what guys fetishize, this is what guys really want, this is the reason why guys really date white women. That's not the case. That's not the case. But I mean, hey, once again, it's always to try to shoot down a man's reasoning as to why he want to do what he wants to do. Mighty wild, but hey, it is what it is. Do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Tell me, what do y'all think?